So I'm here on the 12th floor of the Merchandise Mart. We're inside, and this is where 1871 is. And standing with me is Kevin Willer, who's the CEO of the CEC, which is the nonprofit that is the umbrella over 1871.
Great. Absolutely. Thanks for thanks for being here. We're excited to show you around.
This is great. So real quick, while we're just standing here, maybe you could just give me a little bit of an overview on what 1871 is when you guys, launched.
So 1871 is a 50,000 square foot startup center for digital startups building their businesses from 2 to maybe 10 people. We opened on May 2nd of 2012. We have 200 members today, which is really exciting, and we hope to see a lot of successes come out of this place.
Great, cool. So can we just go on inside?
Yeah. So this whole space in here is all shared co-working space. It's all open seating.
So this is really like a cafe situation. This isn't assigned seating that people have here. Everyone just comes in and sits at a different spot all the time?
Yeah.
And so these people who come into the shared section, do they pay dues or anything to be able to come in here?
So everybody goes month to month, which was so important to the startups, as you've seen in other co-working spaces, was the flexibility to be able to leave whenever they need to.
Right.
The shared membership is $250 a person a month. The higher end reserve membership is $400 a person a month, and that's all in. We don't nickel and dime the startups. They really just pay once each month, and then that's it.
Right.
And then we're open 24/7, so they can be in here in the middle of the night. They can be here whenever. In fact, we have a nights and weekends package too for people who have day jobs.
That's huge. That's pretty unusual, right? For a co-working space to really be open 24 hours, or where did you?
I mean, some of them are, some of them aren't. We wanted to be cognizant of security, but we also wanted to make sure that people had access to the space whenever they need it, because this is their office, right? This is their place of work. And then we move into what is called our auditorium, but it's actually a dual-use space. Instead, during the day, this is shared co-working, so movable desks are set up each day. And then at about 4:30 every day, we fold them up, move them into a storage room back here, and we can bring out up to 250 seats. And so it's an auditorium by the evenings for tech talks or panel discussions, meetups, hackathons. And we also do a lot of press conferences here. Mayor Rahm Emanuel, Governor Quinn have done press conferences out here. We kind of are trying to make it the hub and kind of platform for announcements about what's going on in the startup community in Chicago.
Right. And I'm seeing a Donkey Kong. Is that actually active, or is that just
you
for
want
the
to play? You got to play at least one person.
I don't even know.
I guess it's Mario, right?
I don't know what Mario.
I'm
playing Mario.
All right, there it is.
Oh, jeez.
No, jump.
Jump.
No.
Look, I'm totally losing my
any
credit.
There you go. Nice, you got points. And
now I have a hammer. I'm gonna hammer. This is a big perk. This is really nice. I could. Oh man. And I also wanted you to explain, where's the name 1871 come from?
Yeah, so 1871 is a reference to the year 1871, which was, as Chicagoans will remember, it's the year of the Great Chicago Fire, but we of course didn't name the place after a fire. We named it after the story of that year really was the period of innovation and entrepreneurship that happened after the fire when the city was rebuilt. And 1871, this place is meant to represent the spirit of innovation and entrepreneurship that is happening in Chicago right now, building the next generation of companies here. So, and the URL was available too. So.
That always helps.
So in this room, there's 100 desks. It's our reserved desk section. There's 37 startup companies, and the hope is that the companies will leave eventually, right? We want them to move out at some point. So we think that'll happen in between 6 and 18 months. I mean, we're only 6 months old, so we've only had one company actually move out. We have 200 members, but we actually selected those out of 700 applications. We were really kind of surprised by the amount of demand. We thought there was some, but because we're a nonprofit, we got a lot of support from various places. We didn't want to actually pick the companies ourselves, so we have an independent committee of 9 entrepreneurs and technologists that actually vote on every application.
Oh, wow. And is there a focus on companies who are absolutely going to stay here in Chicago?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And this is where, starting the Google office here, would love to have been in a place like this, but at the end of the day, this is not for regional sales offices, for companies that are based elsewhere. It's for Chicago-based startups that are building their companies here. And in fact, a couple of companies have moved here from other parts of the country. We're hoping this is a magnet for companies to stay in Chicago and others to maybe move here. Something I'll point your attention to is this, and again, I think we stole this from General Assembly, but was the chalkboard idea. So this is the month of October, and this is on our website too. It represents in many ways the value add of the space, but really the programming. So anything in kind of red is a workshop. We bring in experts for free, we don't pay anybody. They come in and do deep dive sessions with about 20 entrepreneurs at a time. Okay. And then we complement that with what we call office hours, and office hours are when an expert comes in, they give us a date and maybe a couple hours of their time. In fact, I did it today for 3 hours. And we'll put out a calendar of the startups. They can book 30-minute slots and just come in and ask you anything. And so this is kind of the scenic walk, we called it in the original plans, but long hallway that's broken up by these curtains, which seem kind of random, but actually have a really great purpose. You can open them up or close them off each day, or during the day to create almost like little conference rooms or discussion areas. But now this is something very specific. So 1871 is not an incubator. Sometimes people call it an incubator, but it's not an incubator itself. It's a co-working space. It's a startup center. But this space is a space within the space for an incubator or an accelerator. And then down here in the corner, you'll see we have another accelerator program that started in September and goes till the end of the year. It's called Impact Engine.
Okay.
And Impact Engine is focused, whereas accelerates digital startups, but across a lot of different businesses. Impact Engine is focused on social entrepreneurship, so for-profit enterprises that have a social mission as well. Here we have 6 suites, and they're all the same size. And we thought originally this was going to be Sand Hill Road. So we were like, we're going to put all the venture firms in it. And we do have New World Ventures and Sandbox Industries, and then another venture fund in the back, the I2A fund, have offices here. But when we were building this project, when we were socializing it around Chicago, the university said, we want to be in there. And we said, what do you mean be in there? They said, well, we want an office or a place in there. So we ended up actually getting Northwestern University, University of Illinois, the entire system, the Illinois Institute of Technology, and the University of Chicago to have suites here. So they're long-term partners. So they own this space and they have their professors come in, their students come in, their entrepreneurship programs, their alumni. And then there's these 2 classrooms, and these we built out with a partner. So we partnered with something that is called the Starter League. It was called Code Academy. Not to be confused with Code Academy.
Right.
But it was started by 2 Northwestern graduates. They're 25 and 24. They have day classes, night classes, user design, mobile, all kinds of different things going on. A lot of the students that graduate from this can then go join the startups, right? Or start their own companies, or, so it's, again, bringing in all the pieces of the ecosystem.
Nice.
If you look across Silicon Valley, Dick Costolo from Twitter is a good example. Mark Pincus grew up in Chicago. Chris Cox, the senior executive at Facebook from Wilmette. Larry and Sergey are from the Midwest. Marissa Mayer is from Wisconsin. I mean, there's a lot of these people are from the Midwest, but they've left. Mark Andreessen, Steve Chen, Larry Ellison's from the south side of Chicago. They've all left. And that's probably because they couldn't find community here or the opportunities they wanted, and they went out to Silicon Valley, which makes a lot of sense. But we think this is changing. Not 1871, but just Chicago as a startup community is changing that, where, maybe that's the next, Larry Ellison, but he can stay here. He doesn't have to leave, right?
So Kevin, what's next for this space? The tour has been amazing. What's next for 1871?
Yeah, so I think, we're 6 months as of last Friday, so we're 6 months in a week. We've seen much more demand than we thought. We've been able to bring in some great entrepreneurs, incredible companies and technologies. We have great partners. Everything seems to be going well so far, but the really only measure of success of this is our great companies moving out. And are they building and growing and hiring people and raising rounds of capital and all of that. So it's a little early to see that. We're starting to see some good signs, but that's what is next is let's keep providing great value to the startups so that they can grow and go on and get their own office nearby. And then hopefully we see continued steady flow of new startups coming in here. secondary goal of the place, we want to be a showcase for what's going on in the startup community in Chicago. And when people visit here from around the country, around the world, we want to have them over and show them what's going on and introduce them to the companies here and make sure that they're understanding that this is a great place to build companies and that we are a national player in this whole thing. So we'll see. I mean, those are big goals right now, and it's been fun. It's exciting. We'll see where it ends up.
Well, we can get started. We can go around and try and kick people out to get to our numbers.
Right.
But
Yes,
Kevin,
do that.
thank you so much for showing us around.
Yeah, no,
1871.
absolutely.
It's been great.
Thank you for being here.